Thanks very much for that very warm welcome, Chrissy. It's great to be here in Sydney today, meet with so many investors, and I look forward to sharing with you some exciting news that we've got coming ahead for Sayona in 2023. So the headline for us is that Sayona Mining is North America's newest lithium producer, the only major producer of hard rock lithium in North America, and will be so for some time to come. Production commenced at our flagship North American Lithium plant in Quebec, in Canada, in March of this year. So we've been going for about 2 months. NAL is on a path to ramp aggressively to an annual run rate of 226,000 tonnes of concentrate per annum, or around 600 tonnes of concentrate per day. We think NAL will get there around October of this year. And to put that in perspective, the rate that we achieved in March of this year was around 150 tonnes per day. So the ramp up is on track, and NAL is performing very well so far. Snapshot for Sayona. We're an ASX listed emerging lithium producer. We have a market capitalisation of $1.8 billion, part of the ASX 200 index. We have a cash balance at the end of March of $100 million, and more importantly, we have no debt on the balance sheet at this point in time. Experienced board and management team leads Sayona, led by our Managing Director, Brett Lynch. Each of our directors individually have over 30 years of experience across multiple sectors, across coal mining, marginal coal mining sectors in Queensland, lithium development in the Pilbara in terms of development of ore bodies and concentrators, as well as various other sectors such as chemicals sectors. So a lot of experience on our board to lead Sayona forward. ESG is very important to us, given the role that lithium will play in the decarbonisation transition of North America. We take ESG very seriously at Sayona, and that's anchored by our access to the Government of Quebec's clean and cheap hydropower, but also the role that, the partnerships that we need to develop with our local communities and First Nations in the areas in which we operate. We put a very high focus on developing open and transparent relationships with those groups. We think Quebec is the new frontier in terms of lithium supply, hard rock lithium supply, and there's a number of reasons for this. Being so closely located to the United States, the key battery and EV markets in the US, we can deliver lithium products into the US on a far lower cost per tonne basis than other jurisdictions around the world. I mentioned Quebec's hydro, which gives us clean and cheap hydropower to run our manufacturing facilities in Quebec. We think that's a significant competitive advantage relative to other jurisdictions. Quebec is a mining province, over 100 years of gold mining history in Quebec. There's a very high quality resource base, a deep pool of talented labour, and well-established logistics networks from road, rail and port infrastructure. And finally, government support. The government of Quebec is highly supportive of mining. They have a provincial strategy to build out a battery metals value chain within the province and to become a leading supplier of critical minerals into the US market. So you add all of those things together, and we think that Quebec is very well placed to be a leading supplier of critical minerals to the US as part of the electrification transition. Zooming in on our hubs in Quebec, we run a 2-hub strategy, hub and spoke models. In the south, we have a hub called the Abitibi Hub. There's 4 projects in that hub, cornerstone by North American Lithium, which is in production today and under ramp. It's backed by a resource base in the south of 75 million tonnes at 1.18%. We have a target to get NAL to an annual rate of 226,000 tonnes per annum. We think we'll get there by October. And ultimately, NAL's destiny is to go downstream. When we purchased North American Lithium 2 years ago with our partners Piedmont Lithium for $100 million, there's a partially constructed lithium refinery already on site. So again, low cost, fast way to producing downstream lithium chemicals in Quebec for the US or North America. Our hub in the north, this is our exciting growth project, Mobileland, which we've just released an upgraded resource. Mobileland is now one of the largest single deposits of hard rock lithium in North America. It's a resource of 51 million tonnes at 1.31%, and will get bigger. We're undertaking a drill program at the moment, a 60,000 metre drill program, and we anticipate that could get bigger by the end of the year. Ultimately, the ambition for Mobileland is to produce 100,000 tonnes of lithium hydroxide by 2030, so multiples bigger than NAL in terms of production and future cash flows. NAL, we released a DFS 3 weeks ago, which sets a baseline in terms of operating parameters for NAL. This is a project that we purchased 2 years ago for $100 million, and the DFS came out on a pre-tax basis of over $2 billion. So significant value has been delivered to shareholders. It's a 20-year life of mine, a run rate of 226,000 tonnes per annum, recoveries in excess of 70%. We're dialing down the grade in terms of concentrate production to 5.4% to really focus on getting those recoveries above 70% and to drive out maximum tonnes. Cash costs of around $620 US per tonne on an integrated basis with Ortier. On a standalone basis, NAL will operate around $400 US a tonne. So significant margins and potential cash flows to the NAL joint venture as we progress to the second half of this year. As I mentioned, North American Lithium is in production, and for us the opportunity was really about a low-cost, fast path to production. So for $200 million and under 2 years from acquisition, NAL is back into production. We had over 3,500 tonnes produced in March. To the end of April, we're still ahead of budget, and the ramp's going very, very well. This will ultimately translate into shipments beginning in July of this year. We're targeting 4 30,000 tonne shipments between July and December. Each shipment will be shared between NAL's various customers, which I'll talk about in a second. And our production target for NAL for the period from July to December is a production of between 85,000 and 115,000 tonnes of concentrate for that 6-month period. So NAL's channels to market has 2 main channels to market. Piedmont Lithium, who are a shareholder in the joint venture, are also a customer of NAL. They will receive 50% of NAL's output, or 113,000 tonnes per calendar year, whichever is greater. That commences on the 1st of July. And I think more importantly, each shipment that NAL sends out, commencing in July of this year, there'll be an allocation for both the Piedmont offtake and other customers. So we'll have revenue from Piedmont at a fixed price of $900 per tonne, and the other 50% of each shipment will go at market prices for an offtake agreement, which we'll announce to the market soon. So again, highlighting that NAL, aggressive ramp up and very close to generating strong cash flows. NAL's, or the Abitibi Hub, also has a strong growth profile. As I mentioned, we have a 50,000 metre drill campaign, which we are commencing shortly. And there's 2 parts to that. The first part is about converting our inferred resources back into indicated, which we know that the lithium is still there. We just need to get through some drilling to convert those resources back into the pit shell. And the second part is about growing the resource base around the NAL concentrator. We're exploring to the northwest and to the southeast, and also to our neighbouring property, the Valley Lithium Project, which we're earning into a 51% interest over the next year or 2. And ultimately, that's about providing NAL with a greater resource base, more tonnes at a higher grade for more production as we move forward. We have a feasibility study for the lithium refinery, the lithium carbonate plant on site, and that's currently going through management and board reviews, and that'll be released to the market shortly. Ultimately, with the lithium carbonate plant, we're targeting to have that online by the end of 2026, which would be an opportunity for NAL to be the first and only fully integrated lithium production facility in North America. Turning to Mobileland. So Mobileland is the growth engine for Sayona. We recently released a resource upgrade for Mobileland 3 weeks ago. It now sits at a resource of 51 million tonnes at 1.31%. So very large, very high grade, and is one of the largest single deposits, hard rock deposits in North America. Mobileland consists of 4 main pegmatite zones of multiple stacked pegmatites, dipping at about 10 degrees. And I think one of the really exciting things for us is we have a brand newly discovered area, the South Pegmatite Zone, which comprises 50% of the resource that we've just established. That was discovered last year, and with the mineralisation open for the deposit in all directions, provides significant opportunity for us to continue to explore and potentially grow that resource base. The strike of Mobileland is over 2.5 kilometres long, the width is 900 metres wide, and it goes down to a depth of 350 metres. So very exciting, as I mentioned, open in all directions, and we're drilling aggressively at the moment to further grow that resource base. We have a 60,000 metre program underway. We're about 20% of the way through that to the end of March. And we're very excited about the opportunity on where Mobileland could get to with potential future resource upgrades by the end of this year. We also have a large regional exploration opportunity in the Northern Hub. So Mobileland is the little blue dot in the centre of your screen. That's where all of our efforts have been focused on at the present. But there's the potential that the mineralisation from the Mobileland property extends eastward into the red zones, which are some claims that we acquired from Troilus Gold late last year. So there's over 1,000 square kilometres of unexplored ground there for lithium, which provides us with a great regional opportunity to further grow the resource base in the Northern Hub to underpin our ambition of ultimately producing 100,000 tonnes of lithium hydroxide from that hub by 2030. Timeline for Mobileland. So we've completed the resource upgrade 3 weeks ago. Aggressive drill program underway, looking to another resource upgrade as we get closer to the end of the year. We've got feasibility studies underway for the construction of mine and concentrator for Mobileland. That'll be coming out to the market shortly. And then we're looking for first production of spodumene concentrate from Mobileland by June of 2027, so only 4 years away. So again, moving with speed to bring tonnes to market to fill the supply gap of critical minerals in North America. So what does this mean? Well, Sayona has the largest hard rock lithium resource base in North America. We are the only producer of lithium in North America, and we're very well placed to continue to grow our asset base in the province of Quebec. We have a resource of over 120 million tonnes at our 2 hubs, with 110,000 metres of drilling underway across both hubs this year. So those resource bases are likely to get bigger. And on a production sense, NAL's ramp up is underway, targeting near-term cash flow generation in the second half of this year, and that annual operating rate of 226,000 tonnes per annum. So what does this mean for investors? Well, there's lots of news flow still to come in 2023. We've already delivered 3 big pieces of news flow with the NAL restart in March, the NAL DFS showing an NPV of $2 billion for an investment that we bought for $100 million, and a resource upgrade for Mobileland, which now sits as one of the single largest deposits in North America. We have additional offtake agreements for NAL, which will be coming to the market soon. We look forward to the first shipment and, more importantly, first revenue and cash flow for NAL in July of this year. We then go downstream with the NAL carbonate plant. We have feasibility studies which will be coming to the market soon on that, which again we would anticipate capturing the higher economics of value-add refining on-site at NAL, which are a much higher NPV. We then swing north to Mobileland. We've got the drill program underway, looking forward to a further resource upgrade closer to the end of the year, and we've got feasibility studies underway for the development of mine and concentrator at Mobileland. So all in all, lots of news flow still to come, and it's going to be a very exciting journey for Sayona in 2023. Thank you very much.